Shalom, guys. Wanted to come in real quick. I've got a couple thoughts kind of running around in my head. I had a great conversation via text with a fantastic guy that I know in Brazil, Euripe Diaz, and a shout out to him for just the hard work that he's been doing for translating into Portuguese a couple of my books, as well as doing some of the articles from my blog, notsav.com, and also just being very active in helping build the community there in Brazil and translating YouTube videos and etc. But in his comment, something that that kind of touched a nerve with him yesterday or day before yesterday, I guess, or struck a chord with him, was talking about vision and mission. And I know a number of other responders in the comment section and then also through some of my Telegram communication have said that, that it definitely pushed them to take a step in a direction that maybe they had thought about doing but never actually stepped into doing. So good stuff. But in his comment, what Euripe had asked, you know, he talked a little bit about what the world thinks is wealth versus what God thinks is wealth. And he did an amazing job encapsulating that, and it triggered in me sort of a thought that I wanted to share with y'all. We are so intent, we're being, and it's a good thing, we're very intent on trying to redefine our understanding of Scripture according to how he understands it. We're trying to understand who we are according to how he defines it, trying to understand the world around us from his perspective. And one of the things that maybe we don't stop and think about in the way that he says it is, what is the definition of wealth? What is the definition of wealth? And as men, we're responsible to provide for our house. We're responsible to put together a holding or whatever, an inheritance for our sons in particular, for our children in general, and to take care of our house well. The world defines wealth as stocks and bonds and 401ks and, you know, vacation property and maybe having a really nice car, a really nice house. But does Yah define wealth that way, or does he define it very differently? Well, Euripe did a great synopsis when he bounced through several different scriptures, but he identified some of the particulars about what he considers wealth. The Almighty gave Abraham land, an inheritance forever. The Almighty was very intentional in pointing him towards a people, toward a family, and telling him that he would have offspring as the stars of heaven, the sand of the sea. God in his word defines wealth as wives, plural. Now, any farmer knows that if you want to grow your operation, you don't need more bulls. What you need heifers. And that's true also in growing a family and being fruitful and multiplying. And so women, as a part of a man's holdings, as a part of a man's wealth, give him the ability to expand and to grow that which the Father has given him. Children are another item of wealth. Wealth, it is multiplied through progeny, particularly through sons. Sons are, Scripture, it probably says sons, but in the Hebrew, I know that at least one translation says children are inheritance from the Lord. Great wealth is stored up in a man whose quiver is full of sons. And that is because just as a woman helps him to multiply and grow his holdings, the sons provide not just additional labor, but those that you can entrust with and grow assets over generations. You can cast that vision, just as we talked about vision, mission, and vision 2 days ago. You cast that vision to them, you inculcate them with that vision, you point them in the direction you want them to go. And as an archer, who places the sun in the bow can release him, and he can continue to carry that forward. So sons as a measure of wealth. Scripture says your flocks. Your flocks. Now, that seems an odd thing to modern Western cityfied culture, and yet out here in the country, I'm telling you, land and cattle is wealth. We understand that, right? And so what was it that God multiplied for Abraham? What did he multiply for Isaac? What did he multiply for Jacob? What did he multiply for the children of Israel? Over and over, right? It was their flocks and their herds. And so that is a significant holding of wealth. Another store of wealth, a means of storing wealth, is silver and gold. God is very specific. Now, we talked some, probably a month or two ago about silver, okay? Precious metals in general. We were talking silver specifically, but that is real wealth. You can take out, I can reach in my wallet. There's probably not a whole lot of paper money in here because I don't like keeping paper money. But if I were to take out some paper money and strike a match to it, it'd go away. But you know what? Most any time, if you're around me, I can reach in my pocket and pull this out. You can light it on fire and it's going to burn your fingers long before it does any damage to this right here, right? So, there you go. Silver, right? Silver and gold. And so that's one of the things that we need to recognize. The Father says that is wealth. So as you are going about putting together your mission and vision statement, obviously I think a portion of it has to be centered on what does the Father have for you with the kingdom. But the other piece that you've got to look at is, how is it that he would have me build wealth that is good for the kingdom, but also great for my family, great for whatever holdings he gives me? And that may be purchasing and developing property, a homestead, a farm, whatever. Could be livestock, which would be held on that farm or on other lands that you might lease until you can purchase and own. And then if you're not in this environment, what are other things? You can be building your house and storing up wealth in assets that are fungible and cannot easily be destroyed, where, moth and rust corrupt. But this can't even be corrupted by moth and rust, okay? Now, I understand that it's a certain type of wealth or a certain form of wealth, but it is what he calls wealth. So I would encourage you, just a great little note there from Euripi this morning, and I appreciate that a great deal, and look forward to having him continue the work that he's doing in Brazil. But the wisdom that I was able to grab this morning and just kind of be encouraged with everything and see it all encapsulated in a message from him, I really appreciated that, and it just got me all fired up. But love you guys. Look forward to it. We got some great stuff coming up. Absolutely like, share, subscribe. But for the Patreons, Kelly and I think, are going to try to put together a video this evening. A portion will wind up on the public side, but some of it's going to wind up back in the Patreon side. We've also got a family, husband and 2 wives, one of which is about to deliver, and they're looking forward to to be interviewed a little bit, maybe public. We'll put more of that back in the Patreon side. But they're looking forward to that, but they're waiting for the baby to go ahead and come so that they don't have the just this extra stressor in the midst of doing an interview and spending time hanging out and just talking to them, asking some questions and getting to know them a little bit. But I can't wait to introduce them to you. I know that he watches the videos because he told me how much his one of his sons enjoys dancing to the intro music and the outro music. Every time that comes on, his son gets all jacked up. He sent me a video. That was hilarious. So thank you guys. Looking forward to bringing more good stuff to you. For King and Kingdom, I bid you shalom.